program was recorded at RILA's annual logistics conference in Orlando, Florida. I'm pleased to welcome Editor-in-Chief of Supply Chain Brain, Russell Goodman.
Hello. Automated DC operations. Joining us for a conversation on that today is Brad Wyland, Director of Product Strategy at Sigrid. Welcome, Brad.
Thank you, Russell. Happy to be here.
Brad, in your view, what is the current state of automated operations in the DC environment?
Well, that's a good question. I think what we're seeing right now is really a rebirth, an emergence of new automation in the warehouse. I think over the past 12 months or so, especially with a lot of the impact from the economic downturn, we've seen a lot more investigation, a lot more ease into wanting to look at new opportunities to automate various stages in the warehouse in order to keep up with velocity and keep up with a lot of the expectations on the DC logistics managers without really impacting anything in additional growth or size or expansion.
What do you think of the daily challenges that logistics executives are facing today that might lead them to consider automated operations?
I think what we're seeing in a lot of different surveys from a number of different outlets, one of the biggest is really around cutting costs across all operations. And typically what we see with that is you see a lot of handcuffing, a lot of cutting of costs, and at the same time trying to keep up with customer service levels, customer expectations. And even as we start to come out of the economic downturn, we're seeing a lot of pressure in trying to pick up the pace, respond to some of the demand that's coming from the customers as they start to get back into the buying cycle. So those two things really put a lot of pressure on folks managing the day-to-day operations where how do I respond, how do I increase my service to my customers at the same time try to keep up with the bottom line expectations we're putting on ourselves because of our slow turn out of this downturn.
Fastest growing trends in material handling automation, what do you think they are?
I think what we're really seeing is a move back to trying to automate everything from the inbound truck side straight through even to the outbound fulfillment. There are a number of stories around the country, around the world that you can read about in any of the major publications about warehouses that have really taken pallets directly off the truck, moving them automatically either on conveyors or robotics, right to the location for inventory, sometimes right to a cross-docking stage for outbound fulfillment, pulling them out of a replenishment location into a pick face for either human-assisted or even automated picking, and putting those back into storage, moving the pick pallets directly to a load station, a wrapper, and moving them automatically onto a truck. So we're seeing really a rebirth of putting automation in place and doing what it does best, which is removing touches, removing reliance on human activity, and putting the human labor force back in charge with some more intricate opportunities inside the warehouse.
Issues that might have prevented companies in the past from investing more in automation? Is it simply money?
There's a money aspect to it. There is also a history to it. Automation throughout the past 15, 20 years has a reputation of having a price tag on it, a very large price tag, a lot of rigidity. I think when you take that history and people kind of go back to a market, go back to an industry, or go back to a solution, what you tend to see is unless they've done their due diligence and started a re-education process for themselves and for their own company, it comes with a lot of baggage. So I think what we're seeing now is people really taking the time, the ones who are really leading their industries, taking the time to re-investigate what this automation can do. But I still think the idea of cost, the maintenance, the rigidity of the systems and the infrastructure that it comes with have really contributed to companies not doing more. But I also think with everyone being really focused on how do I get through this economic downturn, I need to focus on my processes and my operations today. That's really all I can worry about right now, because what matters is getting this stuff out of my warehouse today and maintaining my costs. That there needs to be a little bit more education and spend some time.
Well, Brad, clearly automation vendors are impacted by the recession that you're talking about, just like customers are. What are vendors generally doing to grow the automation marketplace?
No question we're impacted, everybody is. And I think what that's done for us as vendors is helped us to really redefine how we're going to bring awareness and education to the market. We've had to really step up our game as vendors to put things in front of the customers to let them know that the automation market has changed, the solutions have changed, and the technology has grown, and help them understand where they can begin. And it's a little easier entrance for them into using automation in their warehouses. Helping them educate, helping them see more of a return opportunity is what can it do for you and how does it impact some of the things you're dealing with on a daily basis, but also making it easier to understand so it's not so far off and so futuristic and really intimidating from a standpoint for many customers. And with that baggage that comes with it from a cost and a maintenance standpoint, help to really focus on those issues that help to really so they can understand where are we today with the technology, why is it easier today than it might have been 10 or 15 years ago, and the fact that they can step into this and even start a little more slowly, go to one area, for example, whether it's automating movement to a wrapper, automating pallet moves, automating the ways that they can help impact the way a worker is loading or a worker is picking for the outbound fulfillment side. That's our goal, and it's really what most vendors are doing in bridging that gap.
But wait, let's bring this on home now. Let's talk specifically about Sigrid. I mean, you've got your competitors out there. Competitive advantage, what are you doing now to set yourself apart from the rest of the pack?
What we try to do is really, I think, a really common tactic is focus on where are the daily pressures coming from, and a lot of it has to do with cost cutting, flexibility, and scalability, which is really as things change and we start to rebound from this economy, a lot of customers and a lot of warehouses are trying to figure out how can they maintain some cost measures and some profitability, but improve their processes at the same time, not take on temporary workforce and really go through the peaks and valleys at more of a level plane. And what we try to do is help bring some awareness to them and really an application analysis so that they can see that there is automation available that provides immediate flexibility for them that can jump right into their workforce and really help them focus their labor on some more intricate opportunities in the warehouse and really remove some of that cost that doesn't really need to be there and has no impact on the outbound side of their business, but really can have a positive impact on every operation inside the warehouse. So we're really bringing a lot of awareness and education of what does robotics do for me? How is it different than what robotics might have been 5 or 10 years ago? Why is it more applicable to most any DC? And why is it easier for them to start at a lower cost to get in really in the door to start using robotics and really show that within a few days they're seeing a positive impact on their processes for moving product throughout any warehouse or any manufacturing facility.
Well, Brad, this is some useful information. Thanks for speaking with us today.
Thank you.
Brad Wyland, Sigrid, speaking with us today about automated DC operations. Thanks for watching.